You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for tapping in as we get you caught up with everything surrounding the New York Giants. Pro Football Focus recently put out an article talking about the top players left in NFL free agency, and they went through every single player and said what would be the top landing spot for them in free agency. And for the star safety, Julian Blackmon, it was the New York Football Giants. We're going to dive into that into today's show. But first, I got to make sure everybody watching this video is following me over on social media. CEO James Yoder of Chat Sports, he told me my social media game stinks and I need to up my social media game. So I'm asking everyone watching to help a kid out. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, at @MarshallGreen_ is the handle on both. Alrighty, I just want to set the stage before we talk about Blackmon, if he's a good fit, what it might cost, the type of player he is, and if the Giants should ultimately make the move. The Giants, they sit at about $7.4 million in cap space. That number comes from over the cap. So you may need to create a couple more $1 million in cap space if you do want to go out and sign Blackmon. A way you could do that is by restructuring a guy like Andrew Thomas that can free up to $10.4 million. I believe the Giants should just cut Darren Waller. He has 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And I don't want any of that. If you're in, you're in. If you're out, you're out. And it seems like he is going to retire. I mean, I don't understand how he's going to pull a full 180 and go from thinking about retirement to working out for 20 hours a week and getting right back in football shape. You do that, that clears 10.4 plus 6.7, almost $18 million, plus the 7 you have. There's $25 million in cap space right there, which would be plenty enough to go out and sign Blackmon. Blackmon is probably the second best safety, I would say, left in free agency behind Justin Simmons. And he really does it all. He's only been in the NFL for 4 years, just 25 years old, and still a really, really good football player. Had his best year of his career in 2023, 88 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 8 pass breakups, 4 interceptions. He got the most snaps of his career in 2023, and the most production came out of it. What I like about him is his versatility and the way that he can be used in multiple ways. You look at the top number where it says 30, 468, 308, 175, and 6. That is this past year. So that is the 2023-2024 season. He played 468 snaps in the box as a safety. Prior to that, only 67 in 2022, 36 in 2021, and 66 in 2020. He also played a large majority of his snaps at that free safety position and a little bit in the slot. He can be used absolutely everywhere, and I think that would really match with a guy like Shane Bowen, who is coming over from the Tennessee Titans, and we know that Bowen likes to rely on those heavy DB packages, whether it be the dime package where you got 5 DBs out there, or the dime package where you have 6 DBs out there, or the nickel package where you have 5 DBs out there. The Tennessee Titans, they use dime, 6 DBs on the field, 24.2% of the time. That was the second most in the National Football League. If you're going to run a defense with a lot of DBs on the field, you need those DBs to be able to stop the run. And Blackmon is one of the best safeties in the NFL when it comes to doing so. Look at his tackling grades from Pro Football Focus over the last 2 years, an 81.1 in 2023 and a 75.5 in 2022. The guy really doesn't miss tackles, and we saw when his usage in the box went up this past year, the production in stopping the run followed. This is what PFF said about Blackmon and a potential fit with the New York Giants. Blackmon started for 2 seasons in college at cornerback, and he has logged more than 350 slot snaps since 2022. In Gus Bradley's cover 3 heavy scheme, Blackmon spent plenty of time as a single high safety. Almost all of his snaps, though, were down in the box in 2023. Blackmon appears to be a better fit near the line of scrimmage due to his average recovery speed, but his plus lateral movement and solid ball skills from his days as a cornerback show up more often when closer to the line of scrimmage. Blackmon's 30 defensive stops in 2023 were more than his career total before this season, and he missed a career-low 7.4% of his tackle opportunities. I love the versatility. I also love that he played corner in college, and he can line up in the slot. He would be a perfect complement to this New York Giants defense. And the captain of this defense, Bobby Okereke, the man in the middle, he agrees. He played with Blackmon in Indianapolis with the Colts, and here you see this tweet talking about the video we're talking about. or Pro PFF thinks that Blackman will be a top land, or the Giants should be a top landing spot for Blackman. And you see Okereke, he quote tweets that with the eye emoji and the fire flame. I'm sure they have been texting, and Okereke is trying to get him to sign with the New York Giants. He would fit great, and I think he would be the best safety on this team. And I'm a guy that really believes in Jason Pinnock. And I like Dane Belton. I think Javarius Owens, a 7th-round pick out of U of H last year, can still be a productive player in this league. I also like Jalen Mills, the veteran, but he's a guy that's going to have to earn a roster spot. No matter how much I like Pinnock or Belton, Blackman is just a better player. He's had a better career up to this point, and I would like to see a defensive package that has Blackman, Belton, and a guy like Pinnock all on the field. Pinnock, Blackman, Belton all on the field, doing a little bit of everything. That would really fit into what Shane Bowen wants to do and the versatility he likes to use on Sundays. My question to you is this. Should the Giants sign Julian Blackmon? Type S for sign, type P for pass. I want to hear from you down in the comment section. For all the reasons we talked about in the first 5 minutes of this video, I would do it. But the main reason is he's 25 years old. And I truly do believe that the best football in the National Football League are the days coming up in front of him. I only think he's going to get better, and I think he fits perfectly into what Shane Bowen wants to do. He could play that single high safety. Bowen likes to do a lot of 2 high safeties. He could do that as well. That's an easier assignment. You're only guarding half the field, than pretty much the full entire middle third. And he can come down the box, and he could stop the run. Really good player. Giants need more of them, and they need help at safety. I would go out and do it. Around the corner, though, I'm going to tell you about some other free agents I would like to see the Giants go inside. I think cornerback is still probably the top need on this team. I believe in Deonte Banks. But after that, there's a lot of question marks on this depth chart. That's around the corner. Right now, though, I got to tell you about our proud sponsor, Game Time. Download the Game Time app and use the promo code ChatSports, and they will hook you up with $20 off your first purchase. You get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. The prices drops as the events get closer, and they always have these things called flash deals. Well, they will alert you when the best deal is going on. So just download the app in the App Store and go to redeem code, put in Chat Sports, and save yourself $20 off. Baseball season is here. Yankees are already 4-0. The Mets, they're doing the whole Mets thing. But go catch a Yankees game. You go to a concert, a theater event, a comedy show, and so much more. The best ticketing app in the game. Check them out. It's Game Time. Just download it and use that promo code ChatSports and save $20 off. We do know that the Giants have interest in signing a corner. They had a free agency meeting last week with Tre'Davious White before he ended up signing with the Los Angeles Rams. So I think they still know and are still interested in signing a corner. Xavier Howard, he is one of the guys I would look at. Love the ball skills, love the experience, and he would help on the outside, as well as a guy like Stephon Gilmore with the really growth and maturation of Deonte Banks. I think Gilmore is the best left in free agency. He would be my number one priority because I think he really changes the way you can play defense. And I really think he'd help a guy like Banks out. You get Gilmore, you get Banks, or whether it's Banks or Xavier Howard, you could really take another step. Another guy you could maybe want to look for if you just want to have some veteran leadership throughout the offseason and maybe some really, I would say, impactful snaps, just a little bit. He's not nearly as good anymore as he once was. Probably going to be a Hall of Famer, Patrick Peterson, but I just don't know if he's a guy that I'm going to spend a lot of money on. I'm really more interested in the first two. We love Banks. I don't know about McLeod. Cordell Flott. I don't know about McLeod being a CB2. I think he can play in the slot, and I think he can play a little bit on the outside, but I don't want him playing 85% of the snaps at the outside corner boundary. I would be looking at a guy like Gilmore or maybe Xavier Howard. If you don't want to sign Julian Blackmon, Justin Simmons is the best guy left in free agency. He would really take your safety room to another level. He could do everything on a football field that you want of a safety. You want him to play single high, he could do that. You want him to play halves, he could do that. You want him to drop into quarters, come in the box, blitz off the edge, be a guy in run support, he could do that. Going to cost you a little bit of money. 30 years old, that's why I would go with Blackmon. Just 25 years old, still a lot of good football left in front of him. Quandre Diggs, really good safety. Best days probably behind him, but still really good in run support. And we talked about how Bowen wants to play a defense with a lot of DBs. You need DBs that aren't afraid to get in the middle of things and go stick their nose inside the tackle box and make a stop. Quandre Diggs, he is far from afraid to go down and lay the wood. I would like to see the Giants, if they pass up on all those safety options, kick the can on a guy like Eddie Jackson. I know he's not what he used to be in his early days with Chicago, coming out of Alabama, but I still think he is a really good player. And I do still think that he can help a team like the Giants. I know he's not the guy he once was, still a good player in my opinion, and I would like to see him in a rotation with the Giants safeties when it comes to a guy like Dane Belton or potentially Jason Pinnock. I think all three of them could be on the field at the same time. I know Jamal Adams has a lot of question marks around him. One, he may just be a shitty person for what he said about Connor Hughes and his family, but I do think he is a good football player. But he's not all that available all the time. Sometimes the best ability is availability, and he hasn't really been all that. But when you talk about Adams, I look at a player that you could use as a weapon on defense. We've seen him have 9 sacks in the season. He can line up as an edge rusher. He can play in the box when you want to go into these heavy DB packages as kind of that coverage type of linebacker. I don't want him covering deep. I really don't want him covering the slot. I would like to see him transition to more to a linebacker or a guy that just puts pressure on the quarterback on passing down, just get more speed and fly around. I would like to sign him. Or maybe a guy like you already had that was like Jamal Adams, Isaiah Simmons. I'm not sure what's going on with Simmons. I know the Giants were fans of him last year. They liked what he did, but it's a new regime. Martindale's gone. Bowen is in. Maybe he doesn't fit what he wants to do. Maybe Simmons wants more money than the Giants are offering. I unfortunately do not have the information on that. But he's young, he's athletic, and I still think he has a high ceiling in this league. And I would like to see Shane Bowen work with him. I would go out and try to get a deal done. But it doesn't seem like the Giants are all that motivated to do it right now. I want you to name a free agent, though, that you want the Giants to sign. Is it Blackman? Is it Simmons? Is it a guy like Gilmore or somebody else? Name a free agent you want to see on this football team next year. And please give me a follow over on social media so my boss can get off my back a little bit. I'm posting about the Giants on Twitter as well as on Instagram every single day. So hit me up over there. Hit that thumbs up icon for me. Let's go Big Blue.